Here we are, guys. Welcome to the main event. Welcome to Elite Team Travel Adventures. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. Hope you guys enjoy this live. Since I came back, man, it's been interesting. I've had a lot of time to reflect on the environment and to talk about a lot of things and to think about a lot of things that I think, you know, need to be mentioned. And as time draws a little bit nearer, and then now here in Japan, with the current situation, it's like everybody is sort of getting ready for some type of new change. So usually in the spring, this is the time of the year where everyone is like doing something new. Usually in April, they're starting either a new job, right? You have people that are starting work for the very first time. Maybe they just got out of school and they're nervous and they're deciding that they want to work in a new field, right? This is that time where they leave school. Maybe they finish school in March or something like that, and then they work for a new company in April. So this is that time where people have the pressure where they transition into the working world. Some people they transition out, which is that happens too as well. Or they decide to take up a new hobby or a new field. This is the bottom line is that in the culture right here in Japan, this is like a transitional period. This break time or spring vacation, as forgot what they call it in Japanese or whatever the case is, but yeah, it's what it is right now. So it's the same thing for everyone, for people who have jobs, workers, teachers, students as well. Pretty much everyone. It's the same exact thing. But I want to talk about something that's very interesting and very important. I think, especially for people living in other countries, expats, or individuals who work for different types of companies or whatever the case is. And I think it's something that definitely should be taken into consideration. It's really interesting. So in regards to your living environment, work, just taking it back for me, when I first came here, um, and I go as far back as, my first experience in Japan, just as a competitor, it was so different because I didn't really understand, what living here was like. What is it like to be in a country where, not only do you look different, but obviously at first you don't speak the language, you know, um, there's a whole bunch of different norms when it comes to, interactions, and maybe you don't get a chance to really interact with anybody at first. And that's what it was. I came here and it didn't really matter to me because when I came, I would come with my friends, we would compete, win medals, and then go back to the United States. And the whole process would take anywhere from a few days, maybe to a few months, but it was always the same. But you never really get the idea of what a country is like until you actually live in that country. So for me, when it comes to content and videos, I never wanted to be that kind of person that would kind of romanticize things and make it seem like it's this amazing place where you see all the time, these videos where most of these guys over here, these other content creators, especially the big ones, where they make these videos about these different, attractions, and this is Shibuya, this is Shibuya chicken, or whatever the case is. You know, that never really appealed to me, right? I always cared about, you know, real things, real situations, realism. What is it really like? What is the environment really like? You know, I'm from New York City. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a city boy. If you want to say that, you know, I will take that 100% to the bank because that is what I am, right? Um, my image of Japan when I first got here wasn't anything like what I what I see on a regular basis now, especially every day. It definitely wasn't that. It was definitely way more scenery, a lot of grass, maybe Japanese homes, something really interesting and fun. More along those lines. Definitely not like, being on the crowded trains and, looking at people in the face. They look at you like they want to, I don't know, do something or whatever the case is. Because you get enough of that energy in your home country rather than dealing with it in a foreign country. And I had this conversation with someone the other day. It was just like, yo, right? Capital cities kind of suck. Not for nothing. Like, you can do a lot of stuff here, but then what happens when you've done all the things that you thought were exciting and then nothing else is really fun and you don't really have much to do? And then you're left with the reality of dealing with the community or lack thereof. And that's where, from a comparative standpoint, it's very important to talk about the differences of every place that you go to. If somebody goes to New York for the first time, they go into Manhattan, they might get an impression of what New York City is. That's very different from my reality and the New York that I know growing up in South Brooklyn, right? Compared to anybody else. Because you have 5 boroughs in New York City. You have Manhattan, you have the Bronx, you have Brooklyn, you have Queens, you have Staten Island, right? Manhattan literally is just one section of New York City, right? Where you might go there, you might spend 10 days in Manhattan and then maybe 1 day in downtown Brooklyn, and you're like, oh man, New York is expensive. But then somebody in Queens, maybe in Flushing or whatever the case is paying the same amount of rent as somebody in Tokyo. So I think almost everything that you can possibly mention when it comes to that is all perspective. It's literally perspective, man. Right? Now, the first time when I came here, and I remember this vividly because I was 28 years old when I came here to work, right? Osaka was like a mix of rural and urban. And then COVID hit in 2020. I went to Tokai City for a couple of years, which was very different. I literally just came back from Tokai not even a week ago. The videos are up. You've seen the environment in the videos. It's very different from Tokyo. There's a lot of land space, literally. You go to you get off at what? Takayokosuka Station. You go take a walk. You go towards Owari Yokosuka. Or from Owari Yokosuka. You go and I'm throwing out these names. Takayokosuka Machi, Owari Yokosuka. This is not Yokosuka in Kanagawa. This is Yokosuka in Tokai. So different. You got grass, green, just nothing but green pastures, trees. You're like, man, the air is different. You go outside, you can breathe, drink some water, feel great. No crowds, right? Now, for somebody who spent maybe 10, 20, 15 years living in an urban environment, you put them somewhere like that, that's like heaven. Minus the work situation. That's like a whole different thing. But once you get out of that, then your mind is taking you somewhere else. You're not fixated on that one negative aspect of your life. Because when you leave that place, then you can decompress. It's entirely different. When you're in an urban environment, right, and you leave one environment to the next, then you're always in front of somebody's face. You're always dealing with that kind of situation. If you're coming in, hit the like button. Don't forget to hit the like button, right? Welcome to Elite Team Travel Adventures. We're gonna get into some conversations, okay? So, and for the Japanese fans or whoever, I apologize. This entire live will be in English because I got some things I want to get off my chest. Now, this is the thing, right? And I've come to this realization. For me, after living in three other major areas in Japan, I can give my assessment. And I'll be honest about how I feel, right? When it comes to Japan, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Maybe I'm halfway wrong, maybe I'm halfway right. I think, and I'll go on record for saying this, Aichi has the best living community in Japan. Perfect middle ground. If you want to go to, most people, when they go to Tokyo, they might go there for maybe 1 or 2 days or 1 week and then go back to where they're going if they live here, Nagoya, Fukuoka, wherever the case is. I live in Osaka twice. Shout out to Osaka. But the first time was good. Second time, I felt like I was in China. It was that's a video for another day. I'll put it to you like this: I had a nice apartment. I had a nice view. If you check my stories on Instagram, yeah, you see what's going on. It was nice, but every single time I left my apartment, I'd have 9 people looking at me. I can't live like that. So that was a little bit weird, and it got to a point for me where every single time I would leave the house, I would have a negative interaction at the gym or at the supermarket or somewhere else. And I was like, no, I can't do this. And I remember before I moved, I was literally I was stuck in my apartment for about 2 months after I quit my job. No, I'm gonna say quit, resigned, because I sent them a letter. So yeah. Um Big cities, sometimes capital cities, will give you the wrong impression of a place, and you're not able to really to get the full value of the location that you're in. So it's definitely some food for thought. And I think the same thing applies to work. If you're doing a work situation, or if you want to travel overseas or whatever the case is, I tell people go do it. I tell my students here that I've had over the last few years, I encourage them. I say, yo, you know, Japan is a nice place, but maybe at some point in time you want to do something for yourself. Go ahead. Go and see what the world is like. But don't be afraid to step out of your box because you think that something is dangerous when it's really not. What's dangerous is staying in that one place and not getting the experience. That's dangerous. 100%. Staying in one place and being stagnant is dangerous. And it sounds like I should be saying that to myself, but that's essentially what it is, and what's been going on. And it's very interesting when you think about it. So for me, it's been interesting because I went out to Aichi. I remember, what the feeling was like several weeks ago because I had a long and stressful work semester, this past one, and I dealt with some situations that were stressful. I got put in some rough spots, and I had to make complaints and written reports, and I hate to do that stuff, especially here. It gets very tiresome. So, um, the bottom line is, I went on the trip. I went out, and I wound up going back to a place where I live, where I had a situation at work, and this time I went back as a visitor, and it was great. You know, fresh air, good food, good exercise, good people, and good hobbies, right? Shout outs to, once again, Hexera Airsoft, my brother Dave Yoshida, all the people I saw out there, everyone. But you get the point, right? There's only so much good you can do at some point until when you get to a situation where you feel like you are completely confounded and stressed, and you have to relieve yourself from that stress. And that's exactly what that was. It got very heavy at one specific point for me, you know. And when I compare it to my experiences that I had in the past, when I lived in Osaka, I remember what it was like when I was teaching, and it wasn't really challenging, right? Because of the contract I had that protected us. And when I got to Tokai, it was different, right? When I went back to Osaka, it was different, 100%. And then when I went to Kanto, it was different. Now I'm in Kanto still, for now. Who knows what'll happen? But there's a big difference in ideologies and environments. When you're in the big city, people, I think here, they're a little bit colder. People say people in Aichi are cold. I don't know if that's true. From a comparative standpoint now, before I would probably say that, but now I can't say that. If I were to say that now, I think I would be incorrect in me saying that. But I can't necessarily say that right now. It is what it is. But I had a good conversation with a friend of mine, and he told me that the best thing that I can do for myself at this time is to try to focus on the hobbies and focus on the things that I enjoy and the things that I like. And to more importantly, and I think for everyone, I think this will help you too as well. Be more wary of the people that you hang around with and the things that you do. And if they're positive, keep them in your life. And whatever is negative, get rid of it. If you're jumping in, hit the like button. But you get the point. Basically, it's interesting to me. I got the chance to do so many good, like so many fun things, and I was just showing this on the Instagram live just a second ago, right? So I can pull this up again. Let's just show you what I got going on, right? Good food and good fun. Hexera Airsoft Arena. Go ahead and check out my page, Tactical Shigarami TV. Had a ton of fun. You want to talk about food? Look at that. And what's funny is that looks like something that you would see like on a poster, right? This is what my food looked like when I got it. This is Nagoya, man. Right? That's freshness. What's crazy is we got one here in Kawasaki, and it don't look like that. There you go. Some jujitsu right there. You guys seen that? Take a look at that. Right? Some good food right there. Take a look at that. Japanese ice cream and a full spread every single night. And I had breakfast. Bro, I lived like a king for like 2 weeks. When I came back, I had the worst case of I still do. Post-trip depression is a real thing. It's a real thing, man. Look at that. First time taking these kind of pics. Look at that. Brazilian food served up. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be back there again. I will be back there again. I will literally be back there in like maybe 3 months. I'll be right back. Look at that. And that's literally, that's like barbacoa quality, right? Right by Nagoya Station, bro. legit jujitsu, food, and just pure vibes, man. It was amazing. Super amazing. Hold on. I gotta get something to drink. Give me a second. Keep the live running. Oh yeah. Give me some water. I keep this nearby. There we go. Yep. Man, it's different, man. It is different. Got me thinking like, yo, what am I doing? Seriously. Yeah. But it's I tell you one thing, man. I highly recommend that, yo, if you're in the city and you don't like it, you know what you gotta do. It sucks, but you know what you gotta do, man. You know, it's important. You know? So uh it's crazy. Saturday, 2.7 a.m. on Saturday at 10 a.m. to come for one of these. I'll train a child. Setting up this trial for this training. 7 a.m. on Saturday at 10. Saturday at 10 is what? Saturday at 10. Saturday at 10. So I might do the Tuesday morning class then. I might do that. Setting up this thing right here. All right, that's what's up. Just got a good email, solid email from a friend of mine who I haven't seen in years, setting up this training session. It's good to be back. Yeah, man. 7 a.m. Monday is Nogi. So I might do Tuesday in the morning then. Yeah. Do Tuesday early morning. Yeah. All right, so I'll tell you what. I'm gonna shut off this live and I'm gonna get some rest. You guys take care and remember, follow your passion. Doesn't matter what it is. Follow your passion. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, subscribe, and all the good jazz. We'll do this again real soon.